strong support for the specialists who resigned, that we as family physicians we really value their care of our patients and the work they've done for the province. So it's really important that we have those specialists, and we're really sorry to see them resigning at this time.
So overall,
Scrum showed solidarity tonight. Were you surprised, or is this what you expected in the amount of people who actually showed up?
We're very happy with this show of solidarity. Between the people online and the people in the auditorium, we spoke to about 500 of our members, which is almost half of our membership. Were at this meeting tonight, either online or in the auditorium, and we're very pleased with the show of solidarity. It was a very strong message of unity of the physicians of this province.
How many physicians signed that letter of support?
I have no idea. It was still being signed as I came out to meet you people. So that's a letter mainly from the family physicians of support for the salaried specialists.
What did the doctors want to know in that?
Well, we talked a lot about our strategy. We talked about the ratification package, which is going out to our members in the next few days, most likely tomorrow or Thursday. We talked about that package. We talked about the method of what we were going to do. I will be happy to tell you that the board of directors of the NLMA and myself have recommended rejection of the government's offer, which is quite detailed in that package. So we did tell them tonight that the board of directors and the executive of the NLMA and myself personally have suggested that we reject the government's offer because it is an unfair offer for many reasons. It does not improve recruitment and retention in this province. It does not help our workload. It does not help the patients of this province provide. It doesn't help us as doctors provide good care to the patients. So the board of directors will be recommending a rejection of this offer to our members. That package will be going out in the next day or so.
There seems to be a lot of solidarity in a lot of ways from this meeting tonight. One of them seems to be they're leaving it all to you to talk. Is there any direction that doctors should just leave it to you to talk? I mean, rather than have other doctors out there speaking publicly and getting this as public as it is?
I think, as president of the NLMA, I am the official spokesperson for this organization along with the executive director. So anything officially that comes from the NLMA board and executive comes through me. Physicians are all individual people. They have expertise in many different areas than I do, and we encourage many of them to speak on issues of their expertise. There's no attempt to muzzle any physician who wants to speak, and we are all individuals. Everyone can talk when they wish, but obviously anything that becomes official from the NLMA will be coming from me or from our executive director.
What was the tone in there tonight?
The tone was a lot of, like I said, very much support, a lot of emotion, a lot of applause. We gave a standing ovation to the 14 people who have resigned, and people recognize the sacrifice these people have made to make that big decision when many other people could not make that decision. So there was a lot of support for them. There was support for us as the executive and support for the negotiating team. We explained many times that this deal is bad for all physicians, not just salaried physicians, fee-for-service physicians, rural physicians, urban physicians, specialists, and family doctors. It is bad for everybody, and that's why we cannot recommend acceptance of this deal. So I think it's a bad deal. There was a lot of support for those comments. We kept saying this is not just about money. The government has continually tried to portray us as being greedy and saying this is about money. This is not about a money issue. This is about many other things. We're very unhappy with the process that this has taken 22 months of negotiation without any deal. We've had one offer from government with no change in their offer, and we just cannot put up with this any longer. We explained clearly, and we heard a lot from our members, that we have to act united, we have to act with one voice, and we will continue to do that for the betterment of the patients of this province. We cannot abandon our patients, we cannot have them suffer, and we cannot continue to provide the care we are barely able to providing now without retaining and recruiting more physicians to this province.
Are you concerned that abandoning them is akin to, the resignations is akin to abandoning? That the public may perceive it that way?
Well, I think the public may perceive it as that, but it is obviously not. These physicians have agonized over this decision. They are not abandoning their patients. They are taking this very drastic step to try to improve patient care, to try to help us in recruiting more physicians to come to share the great burden that they are facing in trying to care for people.
But isn't that 2 steps back?
I don't think so. I think it's a sign of their frustration and how angry they are and how frustrated they are that the government have been trying to recruit these positions for numerous years, and to think that they can start recruiting more right now is a fallacy. So I think these physicians were just so fed up, they were so tired, they're overworked, they cannot provide the service they wish to provide, and for their own personal reasons they have to move on to another place to try and provide good care to patients.
What does rejection mean? Where does this go now? Should the public be concerned about a strike?
I think there's lots of options, and I think we have to hear back from our members. We are a democratic organization. Everyone gets one vote. The physicians of this province will decide where we go from here, and I guess we can just leave it at that. We talked about various options, and we will have to wait and see what the members say in their acceptance or rejection of this package.
But I don't think it would be a hypothetical thing, considering, as you said, the standing ovations and the applause and the solidarity in there tonight. Do you expect anything other than rejection by the membership?
I hope not. We hope very strongly. We gave them the message very strongly why they should reject this deal. But, the members have the right to vote as they wish. And I think if this deal is rejected, that will give a very strong message back to government that we are unable to come to an agreement. And at that point, then we will look at further action, which will include things like job action in the future. And I think we will just leave it at that for now.
Are we going to see more doctors? Is that 14 doctors going to become 20 doctors, 25 doctors?
I have no idea. That's all individual decisions. As we have said, the NLMA did not orchestrate the 14 to resign, and if more physicians become fed up, I wouldn't be surprised to see other resignations. I think it will depend on how things sort of roll out over the next few weeks.
You mentioned, that from here there's going to be a lot of talk. You mentioned inside there was a lot of emotion. Can you tell me a little bit about that emotion and why?
I think people are very angry at the treatment that we've had with government. I think they're angry that it's taken so long. They're angry about the lack of respect that physicians have had. I think there's a lot of anger at the government and the way physicians have generally been treated. A bunch of the speakers talked about respect. We don't have respect from many people, and we need to get that back. We are trying to speak for our patients, trying to provide good care, and we are being disrespected. And I think finally we are getting the unity and the emotion that we need in order to move forward all together.
When you say disrespect, are you talking about the actual package that's been offered to you, or just the way it's rolled out publicly?
It's partly the process of slowness in negotiation, the process of not negotiating. We've had the same offer from government for the last year and a half. They haven't changed a bit. So I think a lot of it is just the process. We feel not respected in the process. The government have not come in with fair intentions to try to work with us. We've negotiated among ourselves. We keep trying to find ways of coming to a better agreement, and the government has rejected a lot of those decisions. So I think it's the respect for individually, it's the respect shown to the 14 people who resigned by having letters go to the College of Newfoundland Physicians and Surgeons for a complaint against them. It's the disrespect that those people have been shown especially, but it's just lack of respect in the system for doctors in general.
Is the respect, though, do you think the public understands respect when it comes to actually caring for the ill and for children and pediatrics and that sort of thing? Is that enough? Is that, it seems kind of a broad complaint to make to the public who are wondering what doctors are going to do and what they're going to do about their children when they're taken to jail.
Yeah. We care about our patients deeply, and all of the physicians in this room care very much for our patients. We do not want to abandon them. We want to work with them. But it comes down to the point that we cannot continue to provide the care we are providing now unless we get more physicians. We need more recruitment and retention. And I'm tired of saying recruitment and retention, but unless we get a fair offer, not just in money but in working conditions, we're not going to be able to retain the doctors that we need or recruit the doctors from away and the ones that are graduating that we need too. So it's all about recruitment and retention once again. We have to move forward. We have to provide better care for the patients of this province, and unfortunately the only way we can do it is to be strong and try to go forward, and we wait to hear what our members will say.
How long can this, can you give me an idea on timelines? How long, what's the next step? When can we expect to see some movement? I mean, government obviously will see what the membership says, and then it's the ball's in their court. How does this work?
Well, it's with the package is going out. The package will be back. Has to be back by December 13. So our members will have, as of now, the next 3.5 weeks or so to vote, get the package back, and at that point then we will be ready to move forward.
What's the status on the 14 doctors who have resigned? Have any of them accepted positions anywhere else?
I've just heard anecdotally that a lot of them have been recruited or being looking at positions. I have no idea. You'd have to speak to them personally to see who has already accepted positions or who has decided to leave or not. I'm not sure. We don't have any group knowledge of that. That's up to the individual physician to start looking for other places. I know anecdotally that some of them have told me that they have been approached by other places, and some of them probably have other job offers coming very quickly.
Can we expect the public side of this to continue, or do you plan a new strategy to step back from all the news conferences and the open line and all the public comments that have been being made? Do you have a preference?
No, I think it's very interesting about how many ministers and MHAs from the government are coming onto open line and talking in public and doing all of the sort of things that they tend to do to try to push their side forward. We will continue to respond to things that they say which we feel are in error. We will continue to be available to the media. I think we have to wait and let our members speak now to see what they actually say. Like I said, we're a democratic group, so we have to let democracy take its place, and we strategize for what we will do when we get that vote back.
And how much of this, as some people have said, that this is a battle for the hearts and minds of the public, how much of this is that?
I think it's very much that. I think that the public have to decide who they trust more, who they believe is telling the truth, what they can face in the future if one side or the other wins. And unfortunately, we feel this is a battle, and we are speaking up for our patients, we're speaking up for our association, for our members. We want to provide better care, and we think we're at a very crucial point in providing medical care in this province. And I think we're going to really have to work really hard to recover from the ills and the things that have happened over the last few weeks and over the last 23 months. One thing we have said in this meeting, we cannot continue to go through this process every time we negotiate. So we have to find some way of reaching a resolution, and ideally binding arbitration from now on if we are unable to reach a negotiated settlement with government.
Do you have any comment on the sort of discrepancies or the conflicting statements coming from Dr. Ganguly and from what Mr. Ritter is alleged to have said at that 2008 meeting?
I have no more comments. I think Mr. Ritter was available to the media today to sort of give his side of the story. Like I said earlier on, we are all individuals. People will have differences of opinion, and Dr. Ganguly has his differences of opinion, and I think there's no other comments that can be said about that. I don't think it is relative, or I think it's very immaterial to this current discussion. I don't think it is relative, and I think it's an old issue that is a smokescreen that the government has brought up to try to deflect us from the true issues, which is about retention and recruitment.
And how is the relationship with pathologists and oncologists within the association compared to the rest of the physicians?
We were very happy. A bunch of the pathologists and oncologists spoke today in full support of their salaried specialist colleagues. We are very happy with that. We think we are very much a united profession, except for a few people that always have the right to express a difference of opinion.
Okay, we're good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.